Hi, and welcome to another episode of Book a Better Me. And in today's episode, we are going to discuss the book Tuesdays with Morrie, and it is also one of my favorite book. And I know I said the same thing for Animal Farm too, and that's a damn good book too. I have made an episode on that too. You can check that by clicking the I button. So this book is a biography, and the protagonist's name is Morrie Schwartz, and he's a professor in a university, and he was the professor of the author of the book, Mitch Albom. I hope I pronounce his name right. So this is a very peaceful and calming type of book. It's regarding death and life. It's more like when you read this book, you will have a very positive attitude towards death, and once you have a very positive attitude towards death, you would start living a better life. And this is what the protagonists believe too. So there are a lot of lessons in the book, and I'll tell you those lessons. Though I can't tell all the lessons in this video, I'll explain all those lessons in the newsletter. Because of the time constraint, I can't do this in the video. So you can just sign up, or you can just go and read it, the newsletter. For when the author was in college, he had Morrie Schwartz, the protagonist of the book, as his professor, and they were very close in the college. Like they would eat lunch together or roam around together. So story begins when Morrie was contracted with ALS. You might have heard of ALS because the famous scientist Stephen Hawking also had this. So when a person suffers from ALS, his muscles stop working, and like they can still feel the pain, but they can't move it, and it starts from bottom to top, and it slowly kills you, and it's terminal. So there is no cure for it. It can be slowed down like Stephen Hawking did, but as of now there is no cure. And if you are an internet person, you might have also seen those videos where people were pouring ice water on themselves. If you remember that was the ALS ice bucket challenge, which was an attempt to raise awareness for the same disease. So once Morrie came to know that he had ALS and he was going to die in an year or two, he had two options. Like he could either wither around and live a very miserable life, or he could make the best out of the remaining time. And being the jolly and happy person, the optimistic person Morrie was, he chose to do the later one. See, everyone dies, and he believed that people could learn from his slow and patient demise, and that is why he started a sort of course with the author, and where they would talk about life, and the course name was Meaning of Life, Tension of Opposites. Morrie says that you want one thing, but you are bound to do other. Sometimes you get hurt when you know you shouldn't get hurt, and you take certain things for granted even when you should never take anything for granted in life. Like breaking up with someone because of some issues, like you absolutely love your partner and you want to be with them, but still because of circumstances you can't do. This is called tension of opposites. He also talks about how there are so many people who walk around without meaning, without goals. They are just chasing the wrong things, like validity, false appreciation, fame, and other things, without meaning of the life. According to him, the way you get meaning of life is to devote yourself for a good cause. Devote yourself to your community. Go around. Create something that gives you a purpose and meaning. And when you do this, you also give your life a meaning. And without meaning, you are not really living a life. You should have a purpose in life which you are following. For trust, he would do this small activity in his college where he would pair the students in two, where he would pair the students and make them do trust fall. So trust fall is when you basically cross your arms like this and you fall back, and your partner has to catch you before you fall to the ground. This is a trust fall, and the students struggled to do it. They kept their eyes open. They would just try to fall, and then their consciousness would kick in, and they would just stand up immediately. But there was this one girl who did it. She closed her eyes and she fell, but her partner caught her, so she wasn't hurt, and everyone clapped for her too. So Morrie tells her that sometimes you cannot believe what you see. You think that people are not trusting you, they would let you fall, but instead you should trust in the people you love. So you need to close your eyes and believe, not just see. It's not just true about this whole trust thing, but for other things. He says that you have to believe what you feel. There are things which you feel, like maybe you feel that you are good at something, then you need to believe in it so that you can succeed in life. For family, he says that there is no foundation, no secure ground upon which many people stand today if it isn't the family. It become quite clear to me as I have been sick. If you don't have the support and love and caring and concern that you get from a family, you don't have much at all. Love is so supremely important. The fact that someone is always there to keep an eye on you, someone is there to comfort you at the night when you can't sleep, that thing is very important. This is something not replaceable by friends. Like, friends are good, but they won't be there with you at night when you are not able to sleep. So family is the most important thing to you. If you don't have family, then you are missing a lot of things. So that was the lessons, and I'll give you a little background about Morrie too. So Morrie was born to Russian immigrants, and his childhood experience with death was not really good. His mother died when he was just 9 years old, and he came to know about it through a telegram. He was later raised by his dad and stepmother Eva, and Eva was the mother figure of her life, and because of Eva, Morrie paid so much attention to his studies. He also had a brother, and his brother contracted polio, which left him limp and using support to walk through the whole life. Eva really emphasized Morrie and his brother David education, and she would herself go to a night school too. She believed that education was the antidote to their misery and their poorness, and they could get out after they were educated. They grew up very poor, so his father used to work in fur factory to provide for the family. The kids would do trivial work like cleaning driveways of people to help their parents in earning. And Morrie's dad had passed away because of heart attack while he was trying to escape a robbery, and that time Morrie was old. He was old enough that he had his own children, and he was called in to the morgue to identify the body, and he stood behind a glass and he identified the body, and he was completely shocked after this experience that he couldn't even cry for a few days, and this left a very huge impact on him, and that is why he decided that he would live a better life and he would make sure his loved ones don't suffer the same way. Morrie was a damn interesting person. Regularly go to dance nights or where students, people so younger than him, would dance, and he would dance along them. He even held his own funeral while he was alive. He said that instead of them saying so many things about him while he was dead and when he couldn't hear them, they should have a funeral while he was alive so that he can actually hear them, and the people who wanted to tell him things can actually do that. And he was also featured thrice on a show called Nightline, where the interviewer and Morrie talk about the life and death, and it is similar to this, and you can go and watch these episodes. With that, I'll end today's episode. Thank you and have a nice day.